So what happens when the two people you trust most in the entire world, I mean the absolute most, betray you in the worst way you can possibly imagine? Well, today we're diving into the story of a woman who didn't just get mad, she got strategic. This is a complete masterclass in revenge, and trust me, it served ice cold. This one sentence right here from Elena, the woman at the very heart of our story, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures the absolute devastation and then, somehow, the rebirth she went through. Her world completely ended, but right from those ashes, she built a new one, totally on her own terms. You know, every great tragedy has a before, right? That moment of calm. So let's step into Elena's world before the storm hit. We're talking about a life that, from the outside, looked absolutely picture perfect. A life she was about to lose in the most brutal way imaginable. Okay, so let's walk through how this whole house of cards was built. It starts 3 years ago, with a devastating loss that actually brings Elena and her twin sister, Sophia, closer than they've ever been. A year after that, Elena meets James and thinks, this is it, he's the one. And then, just 6 months ago, the dream seems totally complete. A wedding's on the horizon, and of course, her sister's gonna be her maid of honor. On the surface, it's this perfect picture of love and family. But underneath it all, a storm is brewing. And this is where the story gets a whole lot more complicated, because there's a significant amount of money in the picture. We're talking $800,000. An inheritance that was supposed to be a safety net for two sisters ends up becoming the catalyst for some serious greed and betrayal. So yeah, this isn't just about a broken heart. It's about a cold, hard cash grab. And now, we get to the moment it all shatters. And this isn't just a crack in the foundation, you guys. This is a full-on seismic event that just demolishes Elena's entire world. A betrayal so deep it comes from the two people she thought she could always count on. Just try to imagine this for a second. You are 2 weeks, just 14 days away from your wedding. The excitement is building, you can feel it. You decide to head home a little early to surprise your fiancé, but you're the one who gets the absolute shock of a lifetime. You know that cliché, panicked phrase? Yeah, that's the first thing she hears. And then she sees it. Her fiancé and her own twin sister. Together. The ultimate betrayal. And believe it or not, this is just the opening act of the nightmare. And get this, no apology. Not a hint of regret. Just this chilling statement from her own sister. This wasn't some mistake or momentary lapse in judgment. No, this was years of resentment just boiling over into a cold, calculated act. Sophia felt entitled to Elena's life, and she was more than willing to completely destroy her own sister to get it. As if the emotional devastation wasn't already enough, they twisted the knife. They didn't just break her heart, they tried to break her spirit. They actually weaponized her grief, filing a lawsuit to paint her as mentally unstable so they could steal her half of the inheritance. This wasn't just a betrayal anymore, it was an all-out declaration of war. But here's the thing, they totally underestimated Elena. They expected her to just fall apart, but instead, she forged herself into something new. She took all that pain and channeled it into this laser-focused plan for justice. The victim was gone, and in her place stood an architect of revenge. And this is where we really get to see Elena's genius. She didn't scream, she didn't cry, she strategized. First, she hires a private investigator to dig up every single one of their secrets. Then, she starts collecting every digital and financial clue they carelessly left behind. And finally, she finds the one thing they never, ever saw coming, a hidden clause in her parents' will. This right here, this is the silver bullet. A bad faith clause just sitting there in the fine print of the will. It was like a legal tripwire her parents had set without even knowing it. By trying to steal from Elena, Sophia and James had actually handed her the keys to their own destruction. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. It's the ultimate poetic justice. For 9 long months, Elena was completely silent. And in that silence, she was building an ironclad case. The PI, he found James's gambling addiction. She uncovered text messages where they were literally mocking her pain. She traced the money from her family's account right into the hands of his debtors. And of course, she had the forged documents they used to try and ruin her. They thought she was weak, but she was building a cage around them, piece by damning piece. And then Finally, the moment of truth. After 9 months of playing the victim, Elena makes her move. She files her lawsuit, and the stage is officially set for a courtroom showdown that is going to change all of their lives forever. So put yourself in that courtroom for a second. The evidence is just overwhelming. The betrayal is undeniable. What do you think happens next? That silence right before the judge gives the verdict, it must have been deafening. The verdict? It was a clean sweep. I mean, not just a win, but a total, complete annihilation. Elena got the entire inheritance. They were forced to repay every single cent from the house sale. They got hit with additional damages for their fraud. And then, the final crushing blow, they had to pay for her lawyers too. It wasn't just justice, it was a financial execution. So the gavel fell, but the story wasn't quite over. Now we get to see the fallout, right? The ripple effects of their actions. This is where we see what happens when all the dust settles and everyone is left to live with the choices they made. Just look at these two futures, side by side. It's incredible. On one side, you have Elena, reclaiming her life, building something new and beautiful from all that wreckage. And on the other side, James and Sophia. Their whole world just collapses under the weight of their own greed. He leaves her, the money's gone, and she is left with absolutely nothing. The exact fate she tried to inflict on her sister becomes her own reality. And really, that's the final lesson from Elena. True revenge isn't some fiery, loud explosion. It's a slow, quiet burn that just consumes your enemies from the inside out. Her victory wasn't just about winning in court. It was about making sure they could never, ever hurt anyone like that again. So I'll leave you with this to think about. Was Elena's revenge just a dish best served cold? Or was it the only way she could truly find peace?